Hi, I'm Pat, and this is Garry, and welcome to another installment of the Barley Boys, where we take you on a tour of some of the local craft breweries here in Vancouver and surrounding area.
So where are we here today, Pat? Where are we at?
Well, interestingly, Garry, we're here in the north end of Vancouver, where there's a whole bunch of craft breweries. So many that you can actually walk around to some of them. But today we're at Doan's Craft Brewery at 1830 Powell Street.
Yeah, you're right. We're here to visit the Doan brothers, Mike and Evan, along with their partner Kevin Sharp. They've taken over the old Powell Street Brewery complex here in East Vancouver. And you're right, it's turned into a bit of a mini brewery district in East Vancouver.
You're right, yeah, it has.
Let's go in and visit.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm here with Mike and Evan Doan. They're the brewmasters here at Doan's Brewing. And they've got a really interesting story that I find. I think it's fascinating that you've taken yourselves from a home brewer where you used to brew at home, and now you're here, you own your own place, you're pouring beer, you're making your own beer, pulling taps. Like, you're living the dream. So maybe you can tell us about the journey on how you guys got here.
Sure. It's definitely been an adventure. Starting literally from the stovetop, reading every book we can get our hands on, really trying to educate ourselves as much as possible, and gradually growing in size to the point where we are where we are today.
So you weren't intimidated by the whole scope of the things, going from, say, just being in a kitchen to, say, or a garage to doing this?
Oh, there's definitely some intimidation for sure. But luckily we were able to get some practice, and I got a job at Postmark Brewing, and I was brewing with Craig Noble, and he helped me out a ton, and we were able to kind of get the gist from going from our pilot system to a commercial brewery and learning all the ins and outs. It worked really well.
To be fair, we were also super naive.
Oh yeah.
You know, we had no idea what it would take to start a brewery.
Right.
And we were just like, we started on the stovetop. We did that for like a few weeks. And then we dropped like $5,000 on like a pilot system. We moved out to the garage and started working with that. And we thought we'd have a brewery within, what do you think, like 6 months to a year, not realizing that you need hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need to have a bank backing you, you know, maybe another investor, great business plan, find a space, which is like the most difficult thing to do in Vancouver. So we were super naive, and that's what I think actually helped us get here. We were talking about the other day, like, why didn't we ever just put this on the back burner? Why didn't we ever just say, like, let's give up or forget about it or lose the passion? I think it's because we were naive, and we just, like, we thought we could do it, didn't think that there's anything standing in the way, and we just did it. So it was sort of fun. Yeah.
You also have a really cool tasting room. I think it's really got a cool vibe in there, and we're going to have a look at that later, and you can see, like, you have that beautiful mural on the wall, very mystical artwork. You kind of mix beer and art. And you also blended that into your brand look of your labels. Maybe you can tell us how you got that special kind of unique look.
Definitely. It kind of actually just sprouted on us. It was great. It kind of grew organically. A friend of ours introduced us to Ola Volo, who actually ended up doing basically creating our image ultimately with her art. And we just grew with her and really kind of allowed her to give her artistic freedoms, and it worked out really well. It's really owes a lot to Ola. She's an amazing human being. She did really well.
Yeah, so also you guys got quite a following. I noticed that every time I come in this place, you guys are like packed, and you're always busy. So in such a short time, you seem to have a real loyal following. Like, how did you guys manage to pull that off?
Social media has been a good play with us, and it started out as being a chore, but now it's a lot of fun. But it's also everyone in the craft beer community. You name it, bloggers, other breweries. Quite often we have people coming in saying, "Oh, Powell Street sent us over this way," or P49. We're just at P49. We're grabbing a beer and that type of thing. And we do that also. Like it's just one big happy family, and we kind of send people each other's way.
A real community kind of thing going on.
Most definitely.
Cool.
I could add to that. It's taken us a few years, obviously, to get going, you know, to get the funding, like we were saying, and all that kind of stuff. About 3 years. And we started out as homebrewers, so we have like the homebrewing community that always supported us. And through that homebrewing community, people like Graham came out of it. and helped open, like P49. Over those years where we were trying to get some experience, we worked with David when he was in this location, David from Powell Street, and just got to know a lot of people. And Evan's great at networking. Every craft beer event, we'd be networking. So over time, everyone got really excited that we were opening. And I think that helped us have like a big bang on opening day and our opening few weeks here. Everyone just knew about us because everyone likes to cheer for the underdog too.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, we're going to go in and try some of your beer.
So here we are with Evan, brewmaster at Doan Brewery, and we're going to have a little bit of sampling of the things that they have to offer. So Evan, over to you.
Yep. Alrighty, so first up we have our Kolsch. In the middle here we have our alt beer, and on the far right we have our rye IPA. Our Kolsch here, if you guys want to give it a taste, it's basically a Kolsch is a lot of fun. You get a little bit of everything in it. It's light and crisp like a lager, but we use an ale yeast and we ferment at a cooler temperature. What that does is it allows you to kind of get the fun characteristics of an ale while you're getting the crisp lightness of a lager. So you're getting the best of both worlds. And second up, we have our alt beer.
Alt beer?
Yep. This one's Mike's baby. He designed the recipe. It's also known as a Kaiser Alt. So what that is a traditional alt recipe from Düsseldorf that uses all Munich as its base malt. So instead of like a traditional Pilsner 2-row malt, we're using Munich malt. And it's kind of fun. It adds different characteristics to it. It makes a little bit of residual sweetness, but it doesn't make it sweet. It just gives you that nice round kind of malt body.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a nutty flavor, I think. It's got a lot of flavor but it's still not too overpowering.
Definitely. It's kind of like a German version of a brown ale, pale ale. You want to get like a little bit of malt character, but it can't be bitter, can't be overwhelming in any way. It's very neutral.
Hey, Evan, where can people get your beer if they want to get some? Right now, I know, can they get it in the bottles, and where can they get it?
Definitely. We just put some in bottles, so we have it available. We will have it available at Darby's, Legacy, Brewery Creek, a few other bottle shops around town. But due to our limited volume production, we can't actually bottle a lot of it, so we only do 40 cases at a time. So it depends on who takes what and how much they need and all that jazz. But we will have bottles around Vancouver, and we will throw it on social media whenever we throw them down anywhere. Third up and last is our rye IPA. This one's a lot of fun. We use 22% of our grist is rye, whereas like an average rye beer usually is about 7 to 15%. So we really jumped it up. We really wanted it to kind of showcase itself. We leave the hops, they're kind of middle ground. It's not crazy overwhelming like Fat Tug. It doesn't really give you that punch, which I love. But in this particular recipe, we really wanted to kind of showcase the old school hops per se, like the piney, citrus, floral, rather than like mango-y, guava, tropical flavors that are really trending right now, like mosaic hops, for example. So this one we use Cascade and Atanum, or Atnum, depends on who you ask, tomato kind of thing. But so both of them are really kind of pushing the floral, citrus, piney kind of flavors rather than the tropical.
Now, with so many beer varieties, how do you choose 3 to make?
Oh, that's a tough one. It actually is a matter of choosing kind of like something that would appeal to everybody. So we have the light, crisp, easy drinkingness of someone that maybe is just getting into craft beer, really is a Budweiser drinker, but something that is approachable to them. Then the Kaiser Alt, it's kind of more like to somebody that wants something a little richer, maybe someone that drinks dark beer, because it does have carafa in it, so it gives you a tiny bit of roastiness in the end. And then the IPA, it's the kind of like the showcaser. Everyone's looking for an IPA at a brewery that opens up recently. So
especially in the Northwest, everybody wants it.
Exactly.
You mentioned that this was Mike's choice.
Yeah.
Was there any sibling rivalry in terms of who gets to brew what?
Definitely not. That's the greatest thing about us. Being family, it's really easy to, just be, no, I want to brew this, and then be like, okay. Rather, there's never any kind of rivalry. No, we have a lot of fun with it though. It's definitely, and each recipe, like this one's, the Kolsch is my baby, but at the same time, we each contribute small bits. So when I write a recipe, I'll send it to Mike, and he'll tweak it a bit and send it back, say, what do you think? And that type of thing. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Total collaboration. Yeah. And you also offer root beer, just in case you don't imbibe?
Definitely, definitely. So in our location here, we have kombucha and root beer at the moment. But in the future, we're going to have a local producer. He does his own ginger beer, and we're going to have that on tap, as well as potentially kombucha. We have a few people that are caking kombucha now, and I love that as a non-alcoholic option. It's very healthy for you. It's got a lot of health benefits, and it tastes delicious, and a lot of people haven't tried it yet, so we kind of want to get that into the public as well. So, and supporting local community business, really want to, that's one of our main focuses with the brewery, actually, is to get everybody in the community like together, working together.
Super. Thank you, Evan.
You're very welcome.
So, just a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Now, you came with a big glass. Was that something you chose after drinking some of the small stuff?
Well, I really liked the alt beer, and then I saw a sign that said if I got the bigger one, I got a granola bar.
Oh, they twisted your arm with food.
Yeah. And I was like, I wanted that beer anyway, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go for it. So how do you like that?
Really good. It's so, like a really interesting flavor, but it's not too heavy. So that's what I really like about it. I think the IPA, it's really like hoppy, but, and also really interesting.
Yeah.
And the Kolsch is like such a nice light summer beer, but this is like...
Even though it's got a darker color.
Exactly. This hits the spot for sure.
And how about you?
I think my favorite's the IPA, actually.
Okay.
Apparently, the hoppier beer. You know what, though? The IPA and the Kolsch had basically the same color, so I'm only 60% sure it's the IPA I like.
But it's good.
Do you know what hops?
So Garry, we've been at Doan's Craft Brewery today at 1830 Powell Street, enjoying some of their beers. Any final thoughts?
Well, I'd just like to thank the good people at Doan's Craft Brewery for having us over today and giving us a chance to have a look at their facilities and talk about their fine beer. Any final thoughts from you?
It was fun to have an opportunity to taste their beers, 3 distinctly different ones, and listening to kind of what their plans are for the future. So looking forward to whatever they do, and I guess that's about it.
You just said do.
But hey.
Anyway, I want everybody out there in YouTube land to check us out on Facebook and Twitter. So signing off from Doan's Brewery.
Beer, gotcha. Because there's lots of stuff on. I think there are close to 20 craft brewers just in Vancouver alone. And we've been to them all, so you know, right? But the thing is, a lot of people haven't been to them all. Yeah. And so they want to know kind of what makes Doan different than Dogwood, different from Parallel 49, and what are their stories, right? I mean, because everybody, these guys brewed in their kitchen, and now they're doing it in industrial. And it's almost like a beer maker's dream to do that kind of stuff. So we thought these are stories that need to be told. So we thought, hey, let's try it. So camera in hand, we're coming to breweries now and just talking to the folks that make the beer, getting their story, and also some of the people who are drinking it. So we're on YouTube. Okay. We're called the Barley Boys. That's our name. So there you go. And okay.